for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here, back to the video, and today me going over jokes, gun trips, tight end offense. I've done a couple of these so far, these pro type schemes. Did one on D-Croft's U trips and one on Dreeny's gun bunch. So today I'm bringing you guys jokes, gun trips, tight end. I like this offense because it's very unique. It has a lot of different play designs that pretty much any other trips player I've seen has not run, so it's going to be a lot of unique setups. And even if you already run gun trips tight end, there's a lot of new things that you can add to your offense. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. About 75% of my viewers are not subscribed, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Also drop a like if you want more videos just like this one. But here we are, gun trips tight end. I'm in the Las Vegas Raiders playbook. The reason for that is he likes to audible down a lot, so we will be setting our audibles for this I-form H slot as well. We'll just do that first. Just get the stretch alert bubble and the dive alert bubble in. Those are the two run plays. But we're going to be mainly focused on trips tight end. We'll talk about audibling down a little bit, but let's start out with our personnel here. First things first, you're going to go ahead and get a running back that has the backfield master ability. That means you get better catching and you get 4 extra hot routes for that 1 AP. We got Christian McCaffrey today. I just went ahead and traded a couple of players over, if you're wondering. Also, in the slot, make sure you put a running back. So it doesn't matter who I could put, Jalen Richard, Devontae Booker, but I just threw Josh Jacobs here. Joke used Adrian Peterson, but just get a running back. You want that just because you can audible down, so that's the reason for that. In this slot, he uses Slot Apprentice. Now, you're only going to need this for one setup, so if you don't have Slot Apprentice, it's not the biggest deal. You don't necessarily need it, but it'll be used in one setup, and it's nice to have. Moving on, let's set our audibles. I've already gone ahead preset them. You want X spot, inside zone, double and sail, and inside across. The other player we're going to be going over is going to be curl flat. So it's a lot of unique plays. You see we're not going over anything like verticals or PA counter go, drive post, just to name a few. So it's a pretty unique offense. A lot of plays aren't used, but overall, it's going to be a really, really good offense, and I think you guys can learn a lot from it. So we're just going to come out in curl flat. We'll start out with that play, and on defense, I'm just going to come out in like a cover 3, but yeah, we'll go ahead and see you on the field. All right, here we are out on the field. You see we're going to start out in this curl flat play. This curl flat play is probably the second most used play in the entire guide or ebook. The reason it's so good is you got this delayed angle route, which we won't use a whole lot today, I will say. It's not used a lot by him, but it is still decent, and it'll be used for one setup. But mainly, we're going to focus on Adam Thielen on this weird post route. What you want to do is you want to smart route that post route. So we're going to smart route B. You see how he becomes shorter, almost like a crosser, and that's what it's going to be used at. So you're going to smart route B. You're going to throw A on a streak. Then you're going to flat Y. And you're going to put X on a slant. Also, one thing I might have forgot to mention that intro, I can't remember if I said it or not, was that you do want tight end apprentice as well. So I mentioned backfield master and slot apprentice, but you also want tight end apprentice. You get those extra 4 hot routes. This is a pretty known thing in trips tight end though. So here's a look at our setup. You can also go ahead and block your running back for this first setup, but what you want to do is just motion that outside receiver over. You see we got a little high-low read concept, just a flat route, streak route, and then this little baby post route over the top. First read, you can throw this low ball slant, can check down to the flat. A lot of times if I wait late in the play, Adam Thielen does get open. So again, our setup was smart route B, streak A, block your running back, put Y on a flat, and slant X. Again, motion rugs over from left to right, just like so. Here I'm going to try and probably throw it to Thielen. And with Thielen, since we have two, hook curl zones, it's not going to get as open in the middle of the field as it would against a typical defense. But right here, you see how good it gets open on that sideline. A lot of people this year, right now, I would say the meta on defense is to rush 2 and double flat with 1-3 rec and your user. That's probably the defense I go up against most, but overall, this is a very, very dominant setup out of curl flat. I'll show it one more time. Smart route B, streak A, flat Y, and slant X. Motion X over. Again, if I wanted to, I could leave McCaffrey on his route, but I don't really like the slant to angle combo, so usually I just block him for that extra protection. Again, you can low ball your slant right there. So we'll go over another setup out of curl flat. What you want to do with this setup, though, is you're going to set it up actually very similar, pretty much the exact same way, but what you want to do is just go ahead, drag X. Now, One thing I forgot to say is that there's already a flat with this curl flat play, so I was saying you have to flat Y, and I was actually doing it, but you don't need to. He's already on that flat, so that was my bad. But for this setup, you're actually going to throw X on a drag, so it looks like drag and the flat are going to run at the same area, but you see they don't really end up making too big of a difference, even though they are similar route designs, and the drag still does a good job. It's just adding depth, making it more difficult to use for both the drag and the post. We got one more setup out of this curl drag play, and it's going to be a little bit of a quick snap type of a setup. What you want to go ahead and do is just smart out A. So you see A is on this deep corner route. You want to smart out him, make it shorter. This is going to help against man coverage. And then also what you want to do is put B on a drag. So it's going to look like this. You keep the angle route with the setup. You got a little curl flat combo on the left. You got this drag to angle route combo. And then also late in the play, you got drag to deep corner route. Just rolling out, you see A can get a little bit open. It's a little bit of a tighter throw in this case, depending on what the zone drops are. But that definitely can get open. Again, be on drag, smart out A. And just go ahead, snap the ball like there. Boom. You see I can check down to my angle route. I could throw that drag, or I could throw that little curl route. Really, really nice concept. Make sure you guys also are keeping your trips on the wide side. You guys should probably know that, but just to reiterate, keep your trips on that short side. You know, you can definitely step up, check down. You see we still got a lot of yards out of that check down, but overall, just a really good play with curl flat. Let's move on to our next setup, which will be out of inside cross. Now this play isn't used a whole lot. There's one little setup out of it though that I want to go over. It's going to be just A on a corner out. Make sure you don't smart out that corner out. A lot of people would probably smart out him, but I think it's better if you do not. So what you go ahead and do is throw A on a corner out. You throw Y on a hitch, and then with B, he's already on a drag, so you don't have to. If you want, you can throw him on the other drag. They're pretty similar, but there is a little bit of a difference. With X, you can also kind of smart out X if you like it shorter, but here's a look at the play art. Keep your running back blocked. Just going to be an overall decent route combo. Right here, we're going to take off, but this is just, again, more of a quick snap type setup. I think it's a little bit better against cover 2, and since we're in cover 3 right now, it's probably not going to be as good. But overall, just a basic route combo. You can kind of check down. You got that little hitch to the post combo. You're kind of making him, throw a yellow zone. If he doesn't have a hook curl, this hitch will be wide open. So again, if you're making him throw a couple of extra zones that he probably won't, you're making him also maybe man up this Y receiver, this slot receiver, which is probably something that he does not necessarily want to do. Depending on the zone drops, you check down to the drag or that corner out. You can also roll out and make a play on the run. But overall, this play isn't used a whole lot. I'm not going to talk about it for too long. Let's move on to our next play, X spot. So this is probably the main play out of the formation for moving the ball. This is in curl flat, like I mentioned, but this is probably A1, curl flat A2. Now with X spot, you're going to use a lot of different things, but mainly we're going to focus in on this post route with Y. But for our first setup, you're going to throw RB on a flat. We're using that backfield master ability to put him on that table route. You're also going to go ahead and post A, and then you just want to, I believe, hitch Y, and then motion your hitch over. So it's going to look like this. You have this little spot route to flat combo that's pretty decent. And overall, it's just a little check down type design. So again, I'm going to motion Jacobs over on his hitch, just like this. And then I want to snap him right about there. You see that the hitch gets wide open. Gets in a really good soft spot of the zone. And a lot of these play designs, they're not meant to beat you in one play with a one play touchdown. They're more so meant to, create spacing on the field, make your opponent respect certain routes, and then you can, start beating them over the top for 20 yards, things like that. So again, A on a post, RB on a flat. For this setup, you're taking away the post with Y, and you're actually just going to throw them on a hitch, and then you just want to motion them over. So even on the left side, we got a little flat to spot concept. That's going to be very difficult to defend. So again, just looking like this, I can check down above. Usually a linebacker or a safety would not be able to play that, but I probably should have just bullet past it. It is because Eric Kendricks does have lurker, which is why he's able to play that. But again, Y on a hitch, RB on a flat. I could also check down to RB. You see the hitch is open. Sometimes that flat will be open late in play. But here, I'm just going to bullet pass it, and there you see it's wide open. So obviously, if they have like lurker or something, you want to stay away from that low ball. But you see it's working a couple of times. Let's move on to our next setup out of X spot. What you want to do again is you're going to flat RB. You're going to throw A again on a post, and you're actually going to slant B here. So slant B, post A, flat RB. Also, you want to just streak X, and then you're going to motion Jacobs over. So we got a post, slant, table. Then we're going to create just another backside post that's going to go pretty deep, just like this. You kind of want to snap him at the end. First read, table route. You see it's going to be wide open there, especially with the motion post. The further you motion it over, the more it's going to open up that table route. Again, here's a look at our setup. X on a streak, B on a slant, A on a post, Y on a, or RB on a flat. And then just motion Y over. Our next read here is going to just be B. You can step up in the pocket, look at the nice soft spot. Again, it's another high-low read between the flat and the slant. Show it again here. Here I'm going to probably throw either that initial post or the backside post. But overall, this setup is really nice. It's very difficult to defend. It's also good against man coverage. You got the slant, table route, 2 post routes. It's going to do fine against man coverage. But you see Y is able to get over that top of that zone. That's where you want to throw it. I think I could have also thrown A little bit earlier. One more time. Here's a look at our setup. B on a slant, A on a post, RB on a flat, and X on a streak. Motion him over. And again, I know you guys might be concerned, oh, that's Josh Jacobs. But you see he's running the route pretty fine. The route running is not a huge issue. And also, you see that little tight end post just opens up Josh Jacobs even more on his post route. So, although we're not really throwing the wall, he's not really getting open in our play design, he's more of just a decoy, either forcing someone to use him depending on if there's a zone there, or opening up that deeper post over the top. So that's going to be it for our second setup. And this last setup, like I mentioned, we have one setup in this video in which you're going to go ahead and use slot apprentice. This will be this. And this is going to be our last setup of X spot with the slot apprentice. Sorry about that. It might have been a little bit confusing, but what you want to do is just throw B on a corner route. You're going to go ahead, drag A, put RB on an option, and then you want to streak X. So here's our player. Obviously, you're going to motion Jacobs over again, just like this. You got a little corner drag option and post route over the top. So just taking a look, you see B gets wide open there. I really do like this drag to corner out concept out of trips tight end, especially with the slot apprentice. Again, here's a look at our player. We have basically 2 high-low reads here. It's going to be the corner to the drag. And then we also have this backside post to the option that's going to get open, I believe, as well. So here's a look. Depending on what their zone drops are set at, you can always check down to that drag. You can always check down to McCaffrey, but look at how open Josh Jacobs get. That was a bad pass lead by me. Definitely just a blow ball that, but you see it is very open. I'll show it again here. RB on option, A on drag, X on a streak, motion Josh Jacobs over. So again, it's a lot of unique route combos. Nobody really is running this type of a setup out of trips tight end, I believe. Step up in the pocket, throw that corner out over the top. Got a bad throw, but you see it's open. So overall, X spot, really good play. Curl flat, really good play. And last but not least, we're going to go over double and sail. Then we'll talk a little bit about the run game, which is a big part of his offense. So double and sail, what you want to do is it's just going to create kind of a spacing concept. So I believe it's just A on a corner out, X on an out, Y on a hitch, and B on a curl. So here's a look at the player. It's just a little no motion type play. You always want a couple of plays where you don't have to motion anybody. I like that out of every offense. Bunch, trips, U-trips, whatever. You always want a couple of plays where you don't have to motion, just to kind of catch him off guard. Maybe he's expecting a motion, he doesn't get one, and then you can open things up. Again, A on a corner out, RB on a flat, B on a curl, Y on a hitch, and X on an out. If you're running it out of double and sail, you don't have to put him on a flat, but if you're running it out of any other play, then you will need that. Again, here's a look. A does get open on that. Here we see B open, so usually it's going to be B or Y. Also, I've noticed that sometimes you can actually quick throw that out route to Ruggs in our case. So again, one more time, A on a corner, B on a curl, Y on a hitch, X on an out. Again, snap ball. You see I could also check down to this out route, which is what he did when he ran this setup initially. Throwing that out route, you see the hitch to out route combos really nice because a lot of times that curl flat or whatever zone's defending, the flats, it's going to be stuck on that hitch. Again, X on out, Y on hitch, B on a curl, A on a corner. If I want to, I can quick snap a low ball that corner out. RB does get open late as well. So really nice spacing concept. Again, you don't need any motion. And yeah, it's going to do it for all of our pass plays. Let's move into a couple of the run plays. We got inside zone, which we will be running a lot here. So run inside zone a lot, depending on how good his run defense is. If it's big nickel or nickel 3-3-5 wide, Obviously take certain precautions depending on what he's doing. You can also kind of confuse him with motion, which is what I like to do. So a lot of those Xbox setups, we were going ahead and motioning Jacobs over, so we can do that. We can make fake hot routes, fake this, fake an out route, and then we run inside zone. In Ultimate Team or in online play, you'll see the QB is going to point to the left when you do that. In regs or practice mode, he's not really going to do that. So, yeah, you see we're going against a pretty good run D in this case, so it's not really getting too much yardage, but there definitely is some big play potential. Like right here, you see we gush it for 20 yards. So stick with the run game, even if he's in something like 3-3-5 wide, he has good run D or whatever the case is. Definitely stick with it. You see right here, we found the hole. We can juke, get some good blocks up front. So definitely run a heavy load of inside zone. But last but not least, I mentioned we set our I-form slot audibles. This is the formation that he audibles to a lot. You have this little RPO. You notice that McCaffrey, again, is going to be our halfback. So take it as you want it, depending on if you know you're going to audible down. Maybe I like Jacobs more. I sub in Jacobs at running back for one play if I know I'm going to audible down. But yeah, you got dive, stretch. You don't really need any motion. You can just run it up the gut. But look at how good the blocks are. It's a really unique run because a lot of times certain run Ds do not work against it. So certain 3-3-5 wide setups, big nickel over G setups, I believe are a lot worse against this. So here you can also throw the RPO. Although that corner kind of played it, you see I was able to throw it, get a couple of yards. I'll just show it a couple more times. There's obviously other formations you can audible to. You got strong close, slot close. Sorry about that. That was kind of a tongue twister. I form close as well. But again, mainly it was the I form slot. So that's what you want to do. Occasionally, you want to audible down and maybe pass. You have hot route masters, so you can do a couple of things. You throw like A on a post, this guy on a flat, whatever. But just mix it up because every time you audible, you don't want to get in a situation where your opponent can run commit because you've ran it so many times. So be careful about that. Definitely mix in the run game, although it was a majority passing offense. Mix in the run game a lot. Get 10, 15 carries a game, and you will be good. So overall, that's going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and peace. I'm out of here.